Hi, and thanks for clicking on to VOGAN'S Views on the USA for today, the 20th of January. And we have got an interesting scenario over the next 48 hours as we see the system, the very same system that produced the record snowfall and an ice storm for Seattle and surrounding areas. That very system is pushing across the country, folks, and it is going to produce a swath of heavy snow, basically from southern Minnesota through northern Iowa, western Illinois, and across this corridor here through Chicago, Detroit, Cleveland, into central Pennsylvania, and into potentially New York City and Boston as well. We are looking at a uniform 3 to 6 inches of snow, and the reason being, folks, is we have got, if you look at the European model here of the ECMWF site, we've got, of course, a very, very large, powerfully cold air mass over Canada. But you notice here, folks, that plenty of mild air to the south, moisture available, and of course that system right in that boundary between the Arctic air to the north and very mild, moist, subtropical air, in fact, to the south. As this system pushes through, it of course pulls up this warmth and moisture, and it slams up against the very, very cold air across the Dakotas, Minnesota, into Illinois. Of course, temperatures this morning yet again dropped down to 0 in Minneapolis and 5 degrees in Chicago, the coldest, I believe, of the season so far in the Windy City. Over the course of the next couple of days, we are going to see that 3 to 6 inch snowfall uniformly from, like I say, from western Illinois all the way to the eastern seaboard. And over the next several days, or should I say several weeks, we do have an increased chance of snowfall across particularly the north and northeastern United States as that cold air is becoming more and more readily available. That Arctic oscillation has now forced and allowed that cold air, the weakening of the westerly winds across the northern hemisphere, forcing and allowing the weakening of the polar vortex and release of that Arctic air south. So you've got that cold air meeting up against the milder air over the mid-latitudes, creates a fight zone, and of course we have got more in the way of winter storms and snowfall. That is crucially important to remember, folks, is we're going to be seeing increased snowfall and snowstorms, even record snowfalls across parts of the United States, Europe, and as well as that, we've been seeing the first snowfall reported in Tokyo in Japan as well. Evidence that that Arctic air is now reaching widely across the mid-latitudes of the northern hemisphere. But we have seen recently a cooling of the stratosphere. That, of course, is going to have an impact on the mid-latitudes. And you notice here, folks, due to that and a slight spike in the Arctic oscillation, we do see the retreat of the Arctic air over North America. You notice that as we look through the sequence of the European model. Look at how the cold air, the severe cold air, all gets shoved back north over the Arctic region. Notice here a more zonal flow, tightly packed isobars in the upper level pattern. So you've got a very strong Pacific jet stream roaring across the Pacific into the northwest. So you're going to be seeing increased storm action across the Pacific Northwest. Of course, Seattle in particular, more so than Portland, has seen a very, very harsh pattern over the past 5 days. We are going to see slightly milder conditions as that Arctic air gets retreated back to the north. It's going to be more of a classic wet, windy scenario for the Pacific Northwest. You notice here a low storm system here, potential for snowfall, heavy snow across the Midwest. And this is by, of course, Tuesday of next week. But you skip through to Thursday, folks. Notice again, all that Arctic air is almost gone from the majority of Canada. It's all back up to the north. That, to me, is suggestive of that warming of the stratosphere, spike in the Arctic oscillation. But if you notice here, I'm going to skip right through to Monday the 30th of January. You notice how we see another bulge of very, very powerful Arctic air getting shoved down into the western flank of North America. And I think what will happen is this will drop into the northwest corner, drop into the southwest, and then it will migrate, deepening all the time as it progresses eastwards across North America. I am forecasting a severe Arctic outbreak to happen, given the models suggestive of a very strongly negative Arctic oscillation and North Atlantic oscillation for early February. I think we could be seeing some significant snow and cold during the mid part of February. So an interesting scenario taking place, plenty of fun and games to play with, and continue to stay tuned to Weather and Climate through the eyes of Mark Vogan for the very latest updates. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.